Hey everybody, Rob Wargale, your favorite silencer nut job. In today's video, I wanted to do a head-to-head comparison with two identical rifles with almost identical scopes, identical chassis, and identical suppressors. But the delta is going to be caliber. We're taking a 223 versus a 300 Blackout to distance. Now for today's video, I want to make a demonstration of how much bullet drop affects your engagement for these medium to longer range shots. So during these engagements, there are two methodologies to accommodate for bullet drop across distance. The first one is to dial, which is using your turret and making an adjustment and mechanically moving your reticle further to the south, even though it says up because it's moving the strike of the round up. And that allows you to adjust for gravity across distance. So by dialing, you'll see that reticle go so you can shoot, your bullet will go high and fall into the target. I'm not going to do that today. I've got my scope cam attached to each rifle as I rotate through them, and what I'm going to do is hold, therefore using the reticle to aim higher by a prescribed amount so that you can see exactly how much our bullet is falling. Now today we're going to be using the more standard, cheaper ammunition for 55 grain so that it's fair to the 300 Blackout. Because the 300 Blackout, finding match grade subsonic just isn't really all that common. And then I've got some supersonic ammunition from House of Pain ammunition. So we'll be using some subsonic, which is the Remington green box 220 grain. And then we've got some House of Pain supersonic 147 grain ammunition. For the 223 ammunition, as I mentioned, we're going to be using the more run-of-the-mill, and that's my favorite go-to ammunition, which is the PMC X-Tac 55 grain boat tail. All right, guys, let's get into it. I've got the bolt action 223 on the table. I've got this in the FDE, and then the 300 Blackout has all the black stuff to include black silencer and black chassis, just to make a note of it being 300 Blackout. Now, you'll notice another thing I did is on this one, I've got the bolt handle from Anarchy Outdoors. On the other one, I do not have the bolt handle on it, just to kind of make a note of how important it is to have a bolt handle on your gun. I have it, I just haven't installed it because I wanted to see the difference in a comparison style. Alrighty, so let's load up the 223. We'll start at the 220-yard line, just to confirm that I've got a 300-ish yard zero. That should show a bullet drop of about a 0.3 or 0.4 typically. There's a nice small target. Obviously, it's right on track because 220 yards is a small delta for this gun to shoot that kind of distance. Let's move out to the 330-yard target. At that distance, you should see about a 1.2 to a 1.4 mil drop on 223. We go just to the right of the coyote. We're going to hold 1.2 to center. Just over the top, probably closer to a 1 flat. There we go, 1 mil flat to 330 yards. Let's now move out to that 440. Usually about this distance, you'll get about a 2.2 to a 2.4 on average. Yep. Moving out to the 550. Okay, usually about a 3.4 at this distance. Let's go to that nice small guy. There's 3.4. Mirage is picking up. There we go, it's a hit at 3.4. So from 100 yard zero, shooting 2, 3, 4, 5, 550, we're holding no more than 3.4 out to these distances. And the bullet's never rising above center reticle. The 300 Blackout, we're gonna see a big difference here. Alrighty, now we've got the 300 Blackout. Now, even shooting at 100 yards, the bullet rises above and falls inside because we're shooting subsonic ammunition. And this is why a lot of guys will opt into having a 50 yard zero, 25 yard zero for the 300 Blackouts shooting subs. For me, I just went ahead and gave it a 100 yard zero just so it'd be apples to apples in comparing the 5.56. So we're going to go back to that 220 yard target. Now it's going to fall a little bit at 220 yards. I'm going to go ahead and guess maybe 1 mil, and we'll start from there. So it looked like it fell closer to 4 mil marker from where I'm aiming. So we'll hold 4 mils for the second shot. Yeah, about another mil worth of drop there. So it might be actually 5 mils to get to 220. Gosh, even there it fell to about that 8 mil marker. Brutal. This might be an indication that 300 Blackout is really for super close. We'll keep trying just to get a little bit further out there and see what happens. That's a lot of bullet drop. Maybe one more mil to the 9 mil marker. Back to the 8 mil marker. Quite a delta. I wonder if that has to do with the different loads. Back to 9. Or 8. Okay, so with 8 mils of drop, we're kind of in the wheelhouse. I'm going to go ahead and stop there and move to the next target line because we seem to have a ton of bullet drop in subsonic. I'm going to move to the 100-yard line and shoot just a rock to confirm that I do have 100-yard zero, just for us all to see. There we go, we hit that rock. So we are having a 100-yard zero. We just drop about 8 to 9 mils back and forth between the two at that distance. All right, let's move a little further out. I'm going to guess we're going to fall a whole bunch more as we go out to that 330. But let's start at 15 mils and just kind of see what happens. Yeah, it looks like 15 mils is about the right spot. That is a ton of bullet drop at this distance. I saw it impact down there. I think we're just getting an inconsistent velocity here. Well, that put us at about 14 mils that time. Let's do one more attempt here. Yeah, we're just so inconsistent at that distance, we're not able to get a hit. And that's a 36-inch steel we're shooting at. All right, let's switch over to supersonics. Looked like we went over the top there. There we go. So we're about 4 mils high. I'll make a quick adjustment for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll use the reticle thereafter just so we don't have to make any adjustments. Double check it. There we go. Okay, we got 4 mils locked in our top turret. We have our 100-yard zero. Let's move out to that 200. There we go. It looked like a low strike, probably falling about 0.8 there. Move out to the 300, just right of that coyote again. Let's assume we'll fall 3 mils and see what happens. Looks like that was an accurate guess. Okay, let's move out to the 440. If that fell 3 mils, let's assume this will fall about 5 mils. No, that went about a mil high, so let's call it 4. And try that. Just below it, so probably about a 3.7. Well, that showed a little bit of a delta, didn't it? So we held 3.7, we fell an extra 1.5 mils. I wonder if that's just an inconsistency within the ammo. Yeah. Really inconsistent. I think we're just going to go ahead and say that 300 Blackout in supersonic or subsonic just really isn't so great for anything outside of the close quarter stuff. So maybe if you're saying, oh, I'm killing pigs at 100, 200, sure. Occasionally a 300, well, we can do that too. But as you get beyond that 300, I'm just finding consistency errors where the 223 really does do quite good. So now let's put them side by side just so we can get a little bit of a sound test between the two so that we can see how much difference we have in supers and subs laying next to a 223. Alrighty, we've got our two rifles side by side now so we can get a good sound comparison. We've got 6 rounds of 223 on the left, and then we've got 3 and 3, 3 supers and then 3 subs on the 300 Blackout. So we'll get a quick side by side. Here we go. Okay, here we go. 223 first. 300 Blackout Super. Very much so the same sound signatures. 300. Same. Same. Now into the subs. That oversized bolt makes this so much easier for cycling. The Ruger American Predator, I'll go on for a very long time as to how great of a rifle it is. They really are extremely solid performers. They're accurate, they're light, they're incredibly capable, and they're great bang for their buck. But I will say a Timney trigger, the Anarchy Outdoors oversized bolt, does a lot of favors in making it have an overall smoother action. Then I've got MDT chassis because cheek weld is important, modularity is important, and having the Arca rail that allows me to attach my bipod, totally important. And then of course the Vent One suppressors are just amazing in their sound quality. So these things are great, but that bolt knob really is one of the most important upgrades. The trigger, the bolt knob, and the chassis. All right, now we've got subsonic on the 300 Blackout and supersonic on the 223. Let's go 223 first. Substantially quieter, obviously, because it's 223, but that's that bolt knob. Need that bolt knob on here. Substantially quieter. Let's run one more. This time we'll run the 300 Blackout first, and then the 223. Yeah, the hypersonic crack, you can hear that going for a long way. And that 300 Blackout, I mean, if it's legal to shoot in your backyard, you're not going to offend your neighbors with the subsonic 300 Blackout. You're just extremely limited in your range, and you've got one hell of a bullet drop. Even when you're shooting 100 yards, you can see it pass north of the reticle and fall back into. So it comes with some challenges. I think I got one more for each one of these. It is very rewarding to shoot 300 Blackout subsonic. It's just limited in a handful of ways. Outside of those limitations from stopping power and its trajectory, it's a nifty round. I still will take 223 Predator hunting kind of here and forward. I don't see myself bringing a 300 Blackout on a Predator hunt. Pig hunting and some other stuff, I get it. But for me, those coyotes, when a coyote gets away from me, it crushes my soul. I can't stand it when a dog comes in, and I could have had him, and for some reason I didn't. All right, guys, if you like this content, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. It really does go a long way for the channel. I appreciate you. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the comments.